Marianne.
Oh.
We're here.
Well, welcome to What's New. We have two guests tonight, and we have Martha and Iris, and Iris will take over and introduce our two lovely guests.
Okay,
You're
so
lovely.
Lovely.
so Beth is from Heavenly Hope, and she wants to go first because she's got a mission to do. So
Yes.
you can start talking. And the other one is Toby Carey. He's our tourism director. So you guys can take off.
Okay.
Okay.
I forgot, where did I look? Just right here.
Do what,
I
huh?
can just
What does
talk
she
to
look?
you, right?
Does she look
I
like?
just
Oh,
talk to
yeah,
her. Okay.
yeah. Either way,
Just
they can
speak
pick
up
you
a
up.
little bit, because
Okay.
Yeah.
it gets too low.
So sorry I'm the only one here from Heavenly Hope. Everybody's so busy with their kids' activities, and my son's wrestling event got canceled tonight. So,
Oh, so
I was
we're
like,
so
"Iris,
thankful that you
we
came.
can
Yeah.
So Heavenly Hope, right now, just a quick update. Farmers to Family food boxes ended. This last phase ended. I just got a message from Laura Selby. She coordinates all that. She's a dietitian for the hospital, and so it's pretty cool how God sent different people with different strengths on our board, because she just has, taken that under her wing, and she contacts all the different food industry people, and we just found out there may be more food coming, so we're hoping it comes to our area. But right now, without the food that we were getting, the boxes, we've started working more with the local food pantries. So we contacted Hope Church and St. Vincent de Paul we've been working with. We've talked with the Presbyterian Church. We always try to fill their outside food bank or food box. But we're wanting to work more with all the local pantries to get the food to the people that can't get to the food pantries. So it's new. So we're doing boxes of hope with Heavenly Hope. And like last week, St. Vincent de Paul had overstock of some things, so they gave us that overstock, and so we could add that to our boxes that we were putting together. So it's just kind of cool because everybody's working together. We just got contacted from 4-H, and we're getting some farm fresh eggs from some people from there, so that's what's going out in boxes this week. So I'm telling you, like, God just makes these boxes work out. And so we think we have about 30 that are going out this week, and then anybody that needs, like any other food pantry that needs something delivered, we'll do that as well. So it's just one of those things. They don't want people not coming to them if they can, because then that limits the people that can't get there,
Right.
To get what they need. So we're really trying to make sure people understand if you're in quarantine, if you don't have transportation, but we've kind of established the people that we know don't have transportation at all, and really need these food boxes. And we have those relationships built, in far areas of the county or don't have family. So we've been able to make sure they're taken care of. And then we've also been able to refer people to St. Vincent de Paul. So if they've never used St. Vincent de Paul or didn't even know anything about them, or know about Hope Church on Wednesday nights, their drive-through, or First Baptist Church on Thursdays, the fourth Thursday of every month. So it's been good to make sure people are getting that food too, because one little box isn't going to last a family of 6,
Right.
for
Right.
very long. But then if they will use St. Vincent de Paul, who can give you 5 boxes that last, a month. So I don't know. It's cool how everybody's working together,
It is.
and if I don't have something and somebody contacts Heavenly Hope and we don't have it, then I'll text Steve and I'm like, Steve, do you guys have this? Or if he's looking for something and we don't, they don't have it, then he reaches out to us and I'm like, oh yeah, we just got somebody that donated that. So, we're still all helping in the community, but we're really like uniting and working together.
That's really great.
It's
That
pretty
is
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
So it's been really cool.
Because you girls that did that mission, that was just wonderful how you all came together.
Yeah, it's just been really cool.
Yeah.
It's been, and just being out in the county and meeting so many people. Like we try to get out to not Lake St. Louis, that'd be really fun. Lake Seven Falls, at least like every 6 weeks or so, because it's so far out there. And, you think about some of the areas of our county and where all the resources are, you're talking about a, 40-minute round trip just to get like a box of food or to get, so it's so important to get out to the people.
Right, and if they don't have money for gas, it's
Yeah,
really
I mean,
hard
that's
for them to
it. Like,
come
do I
in.
get food or do I use my tank of gas? So, and it's been like, I don't know, I guess humbling or just like the stories are just,
Oh, yeah.
it's just amazing.
It is.
So
And you guys are just like little angels that God sent to them.
we just, I love it. We all love it. Sheila, she's one of our somewhat new volunteers, but she just became part of our board. We call her our house manager because she actually came as a volunteer with the COVID SEMO boxes. Her and her husband, they wanted to give back somehow, and just started learning more about Heavenly Hope's mission and everything, and she just never went away, and we just kept being like, oh, yay, and so she organizes the house, and so we hope to be open in February, so
Oh,
we'll be
really?
open 2 days a week at least.
Yeah. So do you
Hopefully-
need a lot of donations there yet? Or you pretty
right
well
now we have a
filled?
lot. We have a lot of clothing donations. Our food pantry is getting pretty bare. Like the last 2 weeks we put in orders that Save a Lot for milk. This week I put in an order for milk, produce, I guess just milk and produce, and I'll probably pick up a couple more things while I'm there. They don't
So
know, they don't know
monetary
that
donation.
yet, though,
Yeah. So monetary donations would be great.
yeah, that's really great. Just because our operating costs, we just are growing really fast.
You are. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people that need help.
there is.
I came down the hill early one morning, and there was a young man sitting on the railroad ties.
Yeah,
And you could tell that he had probably been sitting there for quite a while.
yeah,
And I wanted to stop, but I had to be there.
Right.
So I couldn't stop. And when I
Yeah.
came back, he was gone.
gone.
Yeah.
I know, and I think it's just hitting people so quickly, and a lot of times, we were just talking about this the other day. I was in a meeting with some other nonprofits. We're trying to get like kind of a subcommittee of all the different food pantries so we can stay in communication with one another, so we're not all doing the same thing.
Right.
And
Do you work with Bloomsdale too? St. Vincent de Paul at Bloomsdale also?
yeah, well, I don't know how it works with St. Vincent de Paul, but Steve Bleckler, I guess he's the president.
Yeah, he's the president.
Is he the president of both?
I don't think so, but I don't know
Okay.
for sure. I don't know
So-
for
Wayne
sure.
Bosler.
I think Wayne is out there.
He's out
I
there.
know
Okay, Wayne's
we
at
always
Bloomsdale, okay.
contact them with food boxes at Bloomsdale to
Yeah,
see,
so
if they
Wayne
need
probably
any
is
for
out
their
there.
pantry.
Because
But
he just took over from Joan.
oh, did he?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to make
Or
note
that's
of
what I
that.
heard. Yeah, that's
And
what
reach
I
out to
heard.
him too, because out that area, I know we coordinate with Kinsey Fire Department a lot for, WOWD area as a good stopping point. But we refer people out to St. Vincent de Paul because I know the divide is like the Breeze Hill. So anybody past that towards Bloomsdale, that's Bloomsdale, St. Vincent
Right.
de Paul.
Oh, okay.
So that's where they go to. But
So you do go to Bloomsdale also with
Oh,
your-
yeah.
Yes.
yeah, we hit
You go to the
all.
county line. All the way
We
up to the
go
county.
like WOWD all the way to St. Mary's to New Offenburg. Lake Seven Falls is way out there.
Right.
We hit Stobtown. Ozora. One week I think we had 8 different drive-throughs, 7 different drive-throughs, and it was all the different areas throughout the county. So all the different churches or organizations, they,
Right.
we had people coming in. and picking up food boxes. So that's another thing, these food boxes, and I don't know if not everybody knows the story and they need to know the story. So this last phase that we got of food boxes, Proper Distributing Company out of Farmington is what we're normally getting our food boxes from. So the next phase started and Proper didn't get a bid. And so Laura called me and she's like, what are we going to do? Like, Proper didn't get a bid. And I was like, figure out who did. So she looks and she's like, the only place in the whole state of Missouri is this place out of Kansas City. And I said, well, call them and we're going to drive to Kansas City once a week with our truck of hope and we're going to get boxes for our county, you know. So she calls them and she, I'm at work at the time and I get this text and she's like, call me now. So I'm like, what's going on? And she goes, well, I called him and he said we could have boxes, but we got to take it semi-full. And I said, all right, how many is that? And she said 1,200. And I said, we can get rid of 1,200 boxes. You know, we'll just send them out to the area counties. If they're going to send them all the way from Kansas City, you know. And she said, that's not all. We have to have a forklift, a pallet mover, and a loading dock. She goes, we don't have any of that stuff. And I said, well, if God wants us to get these boxes, he'll provide it. So I get off work and I call her and I'm like, what are we going to do? So we make some phone calls and Eric Scott's name came up. So I call Eric Scott and I'm like, okay, this is a phone call of faith. This is what's going on. So I tell him the situation. And Dana there, she said, well, we have new owners. So she's like, I don't know. Like, I think it would be okay. But so I said, I know this is awful, but I need to know either tonight or tomorrow. And so she calls me. I remember getting that phone call at 6 o'clock that night. And she said, all right, we'll do whatever we have to do to make this happen. And I just started bawling. And I was like, are you serious?
That's why you guys are angels.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I said, oh my gosh. So I submit all the paperwork and I get the email from the Liberty Fruit Company and I was like, call Laura and I'm like, and it said, your first delivery will be noon Thursday, 1,200 boxes. And I'm like, so we had I think, I don't know, that was on Monday. So that was the Monday of that week. And we're like, okay, let's do this.
Oh my God.
But it's
And you're right, God provides.
oh my gosh,
Yeah,
he
he
does.
does.
Like,
He
since
does.
all these people, we had boxes on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve was probably one of the most moving weeks because the truck was 2 hours late. We have actually a picture out on our Facebook page. At least 25 volunteers there working on Christmas Eve. The truck didn't get there till about 11. Not one volunteer left. We serviced in that drive-through, I don't even know how many cars. The line was so long. I went up and stood on the hill and took video of it, and I just started crying because it was so cool to see this line of volunteers, because we had 5 different families volunteer to deliver boxes. So they each had, anywhere from 17 to 25 boxes they were delivering on top of what the Truck of Hope was, because we were delivering about 100 boxes out to different families at that time in quarantine. Plus we had that drive-through, and then I think there was another drive-through at Zell that day too. But to have nobody leave on Christmas Eve when the truck was still, it was just the coolest thing ever. So yeah, people have really just jumped in and love God, love
There are
others.
so many
That's what
good
they're
people,
doing.
and all you hear about is
You
bad
know?
stuff.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
get to hear all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
That's why I love for you to come, because you,
It's so cool.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
you're so inspirational.
And we have these stops, like this one little stop, and he gives us a bag. He hand crushes pecans, and we were just talking one day, and he gives us a bag of pecans,
Oh.
of hand crushed pecans, and then this one lady always has a Snickers bar for us, and we're always like, "Ooh, this is our lunch." And Donna came to us, and she's my co-captain, and she is amazing, and she volunteers every week, and she rides in that truck with me, and just works hard, and she's
That's awesome.
yeah, I pick her up and drop her off, and yeah,
Isn't that great?
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that, when you talk, it makes me want to be young again, to help,
Hey,
and be strong
I
again.
was-
you are
gonna
young
say-
still.
I know,
you
but
have-
my body doesn't say I am.
My body's catching
Up here I am,
There we
but
are.
here I'm not.
So are you needing, if anybody wants to volunteer? You
Yeah.
could use volunteers.
Yeah. So we have a volunteer form. If people are interested in volunteering, they can email us, or get on Facebook and message us, or like on our website. We have a spot, and then we get those through to our email, and then we'll send you the volunteer form. I was just we have around 80 something on our list right now. But we're gonna need them once the house opens, because there'll always need to be 2 people at the house when it opens, you know. So we're
And
gonna
that would
need
be
some-
consist of hanging
Yeah.
clothes and
yeah, hanging
seeing,
clothes and like
helping people with whatever.
yeah, when people come in, we have a bunch of prom dresses that we had donating, beautiful prom dresses. So we're hoping if anybody is in a situation where they can't get a prom dress, don't not go because of that, because these are beautiful, expensive, amazing prom dresses. We had another lady that donated a bunch of really pretty shoes, and so we're hoping to eventually have some sort of a prom swap shop
awesome.
type thing,
Yeah.
you know, so girls aren't spending $500.
Prom-
Yeah,
Prom
because
dresses.
dresses are, they're
Yeah.
so expensive.
That would be great.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
homecoming too. So
So where's your
When we
house?
get back to normal, if there is
Yeah.
ever a normal.
Right.
yes,
So where's your house? Oh, what's it?
it's
Yeah.
at 164 South 10th Street.
Right next to Stoopy's.
Yeah, right next to
Oh,
Stoopy's.
okay.
Oh,
Across from the
Yeah, it's
the
Don, was that who
Vincent
owned the
plant,
house,
or-
Don?
Stoopy owns it.
Yeah.
Is it the
Yeah.
White House
Yeah.
right next to him?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, I know.
Yeah,
where
it's a
at.
little white house.
Yeah.
And so we have it set up where you walk in, we have a sorting area, and then we're setting up a little office area in the middle. And then we have our food pantry and sorting area in the back. And then we have a room with like housewares, and then another room with shelves. We had a group come in from Springfield, and they helped us rip out carpet and paint and build shelving one day. So awesome. Because it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
we needed to get that done so
Right,
bad.
Right.
And Sheila, she's just amazing. So she lives by the house, so she'll just go over there and work, you know, because if we're all working, and that's what that she's called to do that, and she just gets it all organized and tells us what to do. Like she's the boss of the house in there. I'm like, I don't know how Sheila. I don't want to mess anything up.
Yeah.
So, and then we had somebody donate a minivan, and that's been amazing, so that Sheila can drive that. So if we have something during the day where somebody reaches out and they need food or a coat or a blanket or something, she'll
Right.
go to the house, she'll get it, she'll deliver it. So it's pretty cool.
That is, that's really nice, yeah.
Yeah.
We have certain hours at the house and.
We're gonna have certain hours, yeah. I don't know what they are yet. We haven't.
You have to ask Sheila, huh?
Yeah, I'll have to ask Sheila. So I know my days that I'm off work, and then that's why I gotta see what Sheila wants to do. So,
Now, I could probably do that for a few hours.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm
Yeah.
thinking once we put that out there to our volunteers, we'll have some people that are willing to
Oh,
come in and help, and, you know.
well, I live real close.
Oh,
Around
do
the
you?
corner.
Actually,
Yeah.
the backyard is.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
backyard's kind of got,
It's so fun, you
The
know.
backyard
Oh,
is
yeah.
the backyard is Stoopy's, and then
You're right,
the
on
other
the
back
table.
part of Stoopy's backyard is mine.
Oh, is it really? I know we talked about doing a garden this spring, or trying to. And
then use Mary Ann's yard.
We can do
Then she
garden in
won't
your
have to
yard.
worry about mowing it.
Don't want to cut the grass.
I know.
Oh,
I'm like, that'd be so cool, and then anybody around there could come pick stuff if they wanted to.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's so many.
and
things
so
we
many,
do.
and the fresh food's so good for you rather
Oh,
than.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So.
Yeah, so,
Well, there's no.
again,
better
you are
feeling.
just angels, a whole
Yeah,
bunch of you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We just kind of, we don't
Absolutely.
ever know what we're doing next. It's just kind of, we just always are ready for whatever God puts in our path, and we're
Right.
like, all right, here we go. We don't know how this is going to happen, but he'll figure it out. We'll just do
We'll
it.
just know it, yes.
So,
That trailer load of food is a good story.
oh my gosh,
yes.
that was the, and there's so many like that. That's just, that's how we go. And it's hard when people come and volunteer because they're like, oh my gosh, we're almost out of canned goods, you know, when we first did our COVID. And we're like, just wait. If we're supposed to have a drive-through next week, and then I got a phone call from the 4-H lady, we have this food drive right before COVID. We have like 250 cans of food. Do you want it? And I was like, see, we're supposed to have one next week. So guess what, guys?
We have the food.
We've got the food. We're having another drive-through.
Trust is all
Because that's
it
how we
takes.
started.
Yeah.
And now we have 1,200 boxes from a semi from Kansas City. So,
Oh,
I don't
that's
know, it's
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, you guys are so inspirational.
Absolutely.
It's fun.
Do you get that,
We
get
love
that
it.
shipment regular basis then?
Yeah, we were, and then that phase ended, so now we're kind of waiting to see what the government does. That's what, I won't remember the numbers, but Laura just sent me 2 texts, like, so many thousand pounds of shelf-stable food and then produce food, so now, like, she's so good, because she'll, like, get right in there, you know, and say, okay, we're ready, like, whatever you want us to distribute at St. John County, tell us. So we're kind of waiting to hear. We should know by the 19th is what we've been told of January.
Now, the boxes come
So-
filled already?
Yeah, those boxes were pre-filled.
Right.
So then it was easy for us to distribute to other food pantries that wanted them or churches that
Right.
wanted them. They would just come pick up a trailer load and then they would do a drive-through at their church in that area. So then we were able to service all the different areas in the county, you know, all at the same time basically.
Right.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And those had pulled, like, it was meat, dairy, and produce. So it was a good,
Oh, good
that was the
variety.
last, yeah, it was a good variety box.
When I
That's
did the
great.
Salvation Army, when it, for the flood relief,
Mm-hmm.
I was in charge of that, and let me tell you, when it came to the food, it was Thanksgiving. And
Oh.
talk about the help.
Mhm.
You're thinking, oh, I guess we'll be doing this, I mean, we're just gonna have Thanksgiving another day or whatever. There was some deer meat,
Mhm.
goat. No,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's goat. I think it was goat.
Yeah, it probably was.
Is there goat meat?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I know there's goat.
There's all kind of meat.
Well,
No,
but I
there
think it was
is.
goat though.
People eat
It was,
goat
it
meat.
was another animal. Anyway, this was all donated. Well, we had to make sure we could do it or whatever. Well, then we had to ask people if we had steaks and hamburger, or the hamburger part. And going out, distributing that, you're right. There's nothing in the world that can make you feel any better than
No,
to give
it's so
somebody,
cool.
you know, these people are hurting, they don't have anything, they've lost whatever. And to be able to help them with that, and,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Just
what
the
we
looks
tell
on
'em.
the,
You're part of our family now.
Right.
Like, we have these certain people that we met, like, you know, this one guy that every week we go to his house, and we met him, myself and another board member at one of our soup kitchens. He actually messaged us. It was storming, like, so bad. And Jenny and I were like, we got to go get him food. And we showed up on his doorstep, and he was like, what are you girls doing? And we were like, you messaged us like you needed food. And he was like, it's storming out here. And we were like, so? We were out already. And he goes, you don't understand, like, I didn't have anything. Like, you guys showing up, like, this is the only food that I have. And, like, you answered my prayers. And so I'm not going to say his name, but I'm like, you know, we're gonna always take care of you. And he's like, you're gonna make me cry. He's like our little buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you probably do meet a lot of them that you get really close to.
Oh yeah, a lot
Oh,
of them.
you do.
You do. They're like your family.
Right.
So, but yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, you girls are all blessed, and that people are blessed to have you.
it's so cool.
Absolutely.
It's
For
just cool just watching God work. You know,
Right.
people say, but it's not. I mean, we're just like, we're the vessels. We don't take any credit. It's all Him,
Right.
you know? And it's just, it's so, I can't even tell you. It's so cool. It makes me get teary-eyed
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
just like so
Just
cool to
awesome.
watch. It's pretty amazing.
Just to be able
Yeah.
to see them get something that they need or want.
Yeah.
And, you know, just food.
And we
you
don't
know,
ever stress about it because we just know, like,
It's gonna be here.
God will provide.
He'll
Right.
provide. He
Yeah.
provides your needs.
Absolutely.
Maybe not your wants, but your needs.
Yeah.
Right.
You know? So, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But,
That's for sure.
Yeah.
yeah. So, I
Well,
don't know. I think the only thing new we have coming up is our house will be open, so watch our Facebook page for that. 2 days a week, and we'll be sending updates about this food and prom dress stuff coming up, and I don't know what else.
Whatever comes
We'll
along.
see.
Yeah.
There may be something new tomorrow.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, yep.
If
so,
anyone
That's
wants to
awesome.
volunteer, who do they call?
they can, if they message us on Facebook, or they can call our number. Our number is 636-465-9178. And that, they can text that number or they can call that number. So there's 2 of us that answer that line.
It's 636,
Uh-huh,
okay,
465-9178.
okay.
Yep.
Do people that need services, they contact
Uh-huh.
you directly as well?
Yep, they contact that number, and then we reach out to them and figure out what their needs are, and that's what, like, people look for deliveries tomorrow. We usually get a lot of calls Tuesday and Wednesday. Right now, we're doing a new list every week, so,
Oh, okay.
just because, you know, we're making the boxes individualized, so,
Mhm.
you know, everybody's situation changes each week, so,
Do you ask for anybody special?
for volunteers.
I mean, yeah,
Or-
when you call this number, you ask for.
Oh, nope.
Just whoever
Okay.
answers.
Yeah, just whoever answers. So we'll be willing to help you. So, and then on our website, you can fill out a little form, and then we'll reply through an email with that. So there's a few different ways.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you
So-
say soup kitchen? You did a soup kitchen?
We used to, before COVID, we did mobile soup kitchens. We've done a few since COVID hit, but we go out in different neighborhoods. So we'd go out in a neighborhood, we serve hot soup, bread. That's how we started our mobile part of it, was by doing our mobile soup kitchens. That's how we got to know all the people in different counties before COVID hit, and that's the only way we were able to, like, I don't know, distribute these food boxes when,
Oh,
I mean, it's just like, because before we did the soup kitchens, we kept like not going because we didn't have the stuff we needed, and God kept like pushing us, just go, you just go, and so finally we were like, okay, let's go, we'll figure it out. And so then finally we just took that leap of faith, and people provided all the stuff we needed for our soup kitchen, and that's how it started. And then we made all these relationships and built all this trust in all these different places, Breeze Hill, Lake Seven Falls, and all these different pockets throughout the county. And then when COVID hit, then we knew people and knew, you know what I mean?
Right.
So we had
Right.
already
you
made these
knew already.
connections.
Yeah.
So that soup kitchen helped start with COVID. I mean, got you
Yeah.
through the COVID.
So then,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and then we didn't know about COVID.
Well,
and
no,
then-
we didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
and then-
first,
Right,
yeah, I
but-
think when you first came on,
Yeah.
you were doing this,
Yeah.
just started
We
doing
had
this.
just started
soup
them.
kitchen,
Yeah. We took her out
Yeah.
a orange thermos of soup. We took like the temperature.
And you had guys cooking and you girls
Yeah,
were.
me and
were
Dennis
running?
Langley
Yeah.
would cook at Hope Church, and then we pour all the soup in the thermos. We put it in the back of my minivan, and we'd have gloves, and and then we pull out a little folding table, and
Yeah,
that's how we started.
yeah.
We just go wherever we felt like we were supposed to be that week, and I'd contact the manager of the place and get permission, and we'd just pull up in our minivan, caravan, and bring our Panera bread and coats and hats and blankets, and start meeting people.
See, that would be
Yeah.
something that would really be, if,
Yeah, I think that's really, Panera is one of the first ones that started donating food, I think.
Mm-hmm.
How long have
Their
they been around?
leftovers.
how long have they been around?
Oh, years.
I don't
because-
know how long they've been doing it. It's
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I think Cindy and
Didn't
those
they
guys
just have
did
a
that.
thing
It's
on
been at least
television with
15
them?
years ago
Okay, so,
oh,
or
with St. Louis
more.
Bread
Been-
Company.
in St. Louis.
so would it have
Yeah,
been during the
saying they
flood?
was donating
no,
or
well-
something, I don't know.
Yeah, they
Would've been
do.
over
So there's a
20
different organization every night of the week that.
And
so, like,
I
when you
don't
sign up-
Snooks and a lot of the grocery
Oh,
stores
yeah.
do now.
Mhm.
They donate their food
Yeah,
now.
you just have to. A lot of them require your 501c3.
Right,
So we just have to submit that. And
Yeah, because I know after they did, I think Walmart was the next one, Panera, and then Walmart,
Yeah,
and then,
that's Hope Church gets theirs.
Yeah.
Their food through Walmart.
and then all of a sudden, most of the grocery
Sam's
stores were
Club
doing
will.
it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a really humongous food pantry up in Festus that we always take pictures of because we're jealous of it because it's really cool. But she'll always call me. She actually called me this week, Monday, and she's like, we just got 600 cases of egg noodles and macaroni and cheese and something else. You got anybody you can send up to get some? We'll load you up. So I'm at work and I'm like, Steve, what are you doing? So 3 of our volunteers went up, one with 3 trucks and 1 trailer, and they loaded us up and they carted it back. And I'm like, please don't ignore my phone calls.
That's
It
awesome.
was a little bit of a job, but it's a huge blessing. So a lot of
Right.
that
It
stuff will
is.
be going out tomorrow.
Right.
I think it's
So,
wonderful.
yeah.
Well, and how many kids love macaroni and cheese?
Oh, yeah.
Macaroni and cheese are the ramen noodles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love it. I mean, those are lifesavers.
They can eat them 3 meals a day.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So-
awesome.
You mentioned about working through the COVID.
Mhm.
Did you guys do a program with the county commissioners?
Yes.
Get some CARES Act funding for things?
Yes, that's how we got the truck of hope. Uh-huh. So, we got that through the CARES Act. We wrote 4 grants in 24 hours, and, I just stayed up all night and just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote, and we had to write it a whole bunch of different ways, and then, because we weren't sure, what we were gonna get, but it's like you shoot for the moon.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what we did, and so we just put together everything that we'd been doing basically out of our minivans and these drive-throughs, and said even if we don't get this, we're still going to keep doing what we're doing.
Right.
And thankfully they saw the vision of what we were doing and what we wanted to do with these deliveries, and granted it, and that truck of hope has blessed so many people. It's pretty cool because we've been able to deliver, and that's what we told them, this isn't our truck, this is the community's. I mean, it's God's truck, so anybody call us. I mean, if there's somebody doing an event like the chicken dinner for the parish, we deliver chicken dinners because some people couldn't get up and get them. So, they advertised, if you want it delivered, then we came up here and we delivered those chicken dinners and collected the money and then gave it back to the church. What else have we've done the delivery. We delivered some of the things for St. Vincent de Paul last week, and that was pretty cool. So we're like, call us, use us. Hope Church had somebody call and they needed food, and so we delivered that because they didn't have a way to deliver it. So I'm like, Sheila ended up going to get that box and delivered that because we have the minivan that somebody donated. So that's like our biggest thing. Nobody should go without something
Right.
because they can't get to it, you know?
Right.
Like, there's gotta be a way
And there's so many
to make
people
sure.
that don't even know you guys exist,
I know.
you know,
Probably.
and,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot. So, we have some big future plans that, you know, we have a 3 to 5 year strategic plan, and we'd like to bring some restorative programs to the community where it's more, you know, some adult vocational skills training to get people back out in the workforce, you know, on their feet. So that's kind of our next avenue and what we're driving
awesome.
towards right now. So a lot of planning, a lot of knocking on doors, making phone calls. Do you see the vision that we see? Just take the leap of faith with us. We promise it'll be rewarding in the end. Yes.
Just open your eyes.
So, because people just need to know that they can do it on their own. You know,
Right.
they need to have somebody believe in them. So, that's what this program would be about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot
So-
of people out there that are like that. Just
Oh, yeah.
need, come on, you can do it, you know you can. Oh, no, I can't. And you know, they just need that push.
Yes, because we have a lot of people volunteer with us and they love it. Or, you know, they'll give back something. They want to give back something, and then I always try to make sure they know, oh my gosh, that walker you donated, we got a phone call like 2 days later and we were able to give that to somebody, because they need to understand like those nudges are an answer to somebody else's prayer, you know?
Right.
Like, you have this sitting around you're not using. It's probably needed for somebody else, and if you
Right.
get the nudge to give it up, then you know.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
right.
it's I think it's important people understand that.
Right.
So it's been cool to have people come on board and volunteer with us and, you know, help deliver. We have one lady that comes and she was delivering 20 boxes out to Greyhawk.
Oh, yeah.
So she just said, I can do this. I'm at home, so why am I not coming and picking up 20 boxes for my neighbors that need them, instead of you guys having to drive out there and deliver them? I can just do it. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
So that's just what started happening, you know.
Yep.
So, okay, I'm done talking.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
that was really
Sorry.
good. No.
Actually, think questions for you. 'Cause you guys have only been around for 2.5 years or so?
A year and a half.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, we are officially established April 17th, 2019. So,
Got a lot of stuff done in that short time.
I know, it's so weird. Yeah.
No kidding.
But I don't know, it just, I mean, when you find your purpose, it's not work. You're just,
It's not work,
Right.
it's fun.
you're just living your life,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
you know, so, pretty cool. And, you know, God just keeps sending the people that are feeling, I mean, it's the same thing, you know, that's what they love to do, so. But I almost brought Donna here, but I didn't think about it till like 20 minutes before I'd be here, and I don't know if she'd want only 20 minutes notice.
Like, come as you are.
I know,
Yeah.
but I wanted to be like, this is who helps me deliver.
Excellent.
So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Well, thank you for doing this.
Yes,
because
thank
I
you
know
so
we
much
need
for
it.
coming.
us.
You're
We
going to be
need it.
running
Yeah.
close.
I'll be good.
You'll be good? Okay. Yeah.
So, all right.
All right.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
much.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it.
For leaving and
Yeah.
You can catch it on the replay.
I will.
Yeah.
I will seriously, because I want to know
So,
all that you're getting done too.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for
Yes,
calling.
thank
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
anytime.
Guys,
Yeah,
bye-bye.
anytime you want
Be
to say
careful.
something.
Have
Yeah.
a blessed week. and-
Yes, you too.
Okay, you too.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, now we're ready for Mr. Toby,
Oh, howdy.
or Mr. Carrig, whichever you
Either one,
prefer.
whatever.
Toby,
Yeah.
we know you by the first name.
Iris had called because she wanted me to kind of update on what was going on with the national park things, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And any new other stuff going on in St. Genevieve coming up, so. I've got a few things to cover, and won't take up too much of your time, but
Oh,
the national park is, as you guys know, was established October 30th of 2020. So that's fairly new. It was the 422nd National Park unit in the country. There are now 423, I believe. There was one added in December down south. The Medgar Evers birthplace, home place was added as a national monument. So that's 423. But St. Genevieve has had a superintendent since about, I think 11 months ago. Chris Collins was appointed as the superintendent. And then through the summertime, he had 2 seasonal employees, so they worked through the summer months when tourist season was at its peak. And then he also has a seasonal part-time ranger who's on staff on Saturdays, comes in, and if people are coming to town on Saturday, they want to check walking tour out, or they want to go to the John Baptiste Valet House across the street from the Welcome Center, then there's a ranger on duty who can open that up for them. And actually, he keeps it open in the afternoon from 2 to 3:30 on Saturdays, so they can go in there. And there's the Mistlehorn sketches from Roscoe Mistlehorn's collection are in that building now, as are some pieces from the 1930s art colony and some Charles Reinhardt paintings that were not seen by the public for a long time.
Yeah.
They're on display in there now too. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really nice,
Yeah.
and Chris also has on his staff, he had a seasonal maintenance worker who his last day is this Friday, but then they're going to start moving to the new phase of some permanent employees. So this will be their first permanent employee, other than the superintendent, will be starting next Monday. His name is Andy Newman, and he's going to be doing maintenance for the park, and he comes to St. Genevieve from the Great Smoky Mountains National Park
Oh, my.
down southeast. So.
What a switch.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, they've had, so when Chris posted the positions for St. Genevieve, they had a really strong response from people
Really?
applying within the park system that were interested in the park here. So
That's awesome.
I think they have like a certain amount of applications they take, and they fill up pretty quickly for this position. So he has a permanent park ranger, but she's also doing many other things starting on February 1st. And she's been volunteering around town a little bit, so some people visiting the Welcome Center or the Jean Baptiste Valet House may have met her already. Her name is Emily Smithy, and she will be the lead interpreter and cultural resources expert. So she'll be helping develop some of those interpretive information and the programs and different things that'll be at St. Genevieve Park. So she comes to St. Genevieve from, I guess she's been at several parks, both as a volunteer and employee, and has hands-on cultural resource experience from the Western Center for Historic Preservation in Wyoming. So she brings a very strong background with her. She has undergraduate and graduate degrees. I know she went to Ole Miss for undergrad at least.
Really?
And she's from Mississippi. So
okay.
actually she's been around town a little bit already. And then he has another employee who's going to be starting on March 1st. Full-time, or mid-March, I'm not sure about the first, but a third employee, full-time, permanent person on staff. So people will begin to see that presence of national park employees in town.
And where is that at?
So they'll be working out of both the Jean Baptiste Valet House
Okay, so that's
and
where-
the Welcome Center.
Okay,
They will have a pretty big presence in the Welcome Center.
okay.
As people may know, a lot of the exhibits moved into that building this past year. The diorama from the 1830s, the vertical log construction exhibit that was in the Amaro House, done by the state of Missouri, was also moved into the Welcome Center. And they have an exhibit on loan from the French colonial America that talks about the early days of St. Genevieve. So those are all in there currently, and then they'll have the rangers be able to come in and tell the stories using those tools also.
Is the
That's
Welcome Center now part of the state, or is that still the city's?
The Welcome Center belongs to the city still.
the state
It's in
now.
process of being conveyed from the city to the National Park Service.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I'm not sure how much more time they'll have in that process. The National Park Service does a lot of research and due diligence on their end of things, but when they take on a property, so that's part of the process.
So how many buildings do they own then?
They own 2 at the moment.
Just the 2 right
So
now?
the Jean Baptiste Valet and the Beauvais Amaro House down St. Marie Road.
Yeah.
They're in the process, the state has legislatively agreed to donate quite a few properties, and those are at various parts in the process. More properties on St. Mary's Road, including the Creole House.
Right now, the
Oh,
one
yeah.
they do is the Green Tree Tavern, the old Green Tree
The
Tree
Green
Tavern.
Tree is owned by the state at the moment.
Oh,
It's
just,
one of
it's
the
not
pro-
federal, huh?
It's one of the properties in the process of being conveyed.
Okay.
I think that'll be the first half of this year that
Oh,
could be
okay.
completed, where that becomes a national park property. And I know they're looking forward to having
Yeah,
the more buildings that they can work with for interpretation.
Right.
The De La Sioux Kern House down on Highway 61.
are they gonna
south of the
remodel
city.
that, or
I
what are
think
they
it'll
gonna?
be- Eventually, I think down the road, it'll be, yeah.
Really?
It's also in the process of moving from state to federal.
Oh,
And then
okay.
once they have that, I know one of the things they've talked about is that with that property across the road on Highway 61, there's a spring area that also is part of that lot, part of that parcel.
Oh, really?
And so I think they might do something in there with terms of trails and possibly signage that
Oh,
says,
okay.
you know, this is the Grand Champ. This is kind of where the old town site was. If you look directly east, a couple down the road, down that road, Cowman's Road is where the old town site was. So I think they might do some signage in that area to,
So that part belongs to the,
currently in the state, in the process of being transferred to federal. Yeah, there's
That's
that parcel, there's 3 other parcels on St. Mary's Road and Green Tree, so that'd be 5 total in the process.
Oh.
So between moving from state to federal at some point.
right,
The state, as far as the immediate future, will maintain a presence. I know that was discussed in the past, but they will maintain the Felix Valley House and the Shaw House is where they have their administrative offices, so they'll
Right.
stay here and keep interpreting the programs there.
yeah. And the French Colonial, the bank, the old bank,
French Colonial, the Center for
that's
French Colonial
still,
belongs to it's an organization called French Colonial America.
okay,
Yep,
okay.
that's, has some components, some members from the Colonial Dames are part of that organization as well, because that was donated from the Dames to the French Colonial America organization.
Oh, okay.
It's independent, but it includes some of the same personnel
Okay.
in terms of leadership for those
Yeah.
groups. And they actually have an exhibit they're opening later this year in that museum building, the Center for French Colonial Life. Will have an exhibit on the American Revolutionary War in the West. So they're putting a lot of work into this.
Yeah,
So
that'll
it's gonna
be interesting.
Sometime maybe May, June, somewhere in that time frame when it could open up this year. And it's going to have some information about the Battle of Fort San Carlos in St. Louis and some other major events that took place during the Revolutionary War time.
And where's this going to open up?
At the Center for French
Center
Colonial
for-
Life.
okay,
Yeah, it'll
okay.
be, and I'm sure once it opens, they'll keep it there for a while.
Toby, I've had a lot of people ask, and I couldn't give them the real answer, maybe what I know, but can you tell everybody kind of what this means? You know, they'll say, what's a national park? What are they gonna do, build a park or whatever? I said, no, it has everything to do with our historical town. So, maybe you can add something to that I'm definitely not saying, but, I mean, because I don't know.
Yeah,
You know, but.
there's a lot to it. And
But-
it's very interesting. And there's like more, I think people will begin to see more this coming year
So just be seeing it.
with the park rangers coming in.
Okay.
And like, so they're gonna start developing programs.
Okay,
I think
okay.
they have kind of a vision of, and they're developing that.
Right.
You're gonna see some meetings coming up this late winter and early spring that will involve the community and the stakeholders. And that's gonna be helping to develop what this park does and what the story is and what stories they tell at their properties.
Okay.
They want to involve the community and the stakeholders, their partners, in that process of developing it. And where does the national park fit in with what the French Colonial America is already
Yeah.
doing, or what the foundation is already doing, and what the state is doing? How does this story that they're going to tell, how will that work in with it? How will it complement it? And I think they're going to develop that.
Okay.
I mean, I can tell you some of the things I know from talking with Chris. Their walking tours will come back this summer, and the rangers will be involved, and they'll probably be free walking tours. And one of the things he wants to do is an architecture tour, so you'll be able to talk about the various types of buildings and architecture in St. Genevieve.
Oh, that's neat.
I think the Amaro House is undergoing a an extensive study that the National Park Service does
Oh, really?
on property. So they bring in engineers and archaeology people, and they study every period of the house's history in terms of what it looked like and who was in it and what were they doing. So that process will take a little while, and that will give them all the information they can work with in terms of what they want to do to interpret that house. So then they'll develop a plan of interpretation and preservation, and you talk about building a park. What they could do is they could take a house and say, the Emerald House, for instance, has had additions put onto it over time, as many of them have, and they might say, all right, we want to take the house to this period of time, and then also interpret the story based on that period of time. And as a lot of people in town know, the house has significance with the period of when Pelagi Amaro was living in there, and this was a free woman of color who owned property in St. Genevieve in the 19th century. So it's a story that's unique, and it was something that I think the Park Service is interested in telling for there. And then you've got, once the green tree becomes part of it, that's a different story that can be told there.
Right.
You've got the first Masonic Lodge west of Mississippi. You've got an inn that was being operated in the early 19th century. So you've got different things at different properties that they can tell for stories. So I think they're going to bring a lot of resources in to study all the components and see how it fits together with what's in the community. So you're going to get the interpretation, and you're going to get, I think, a very strong preservation resources. I mean, they'll have the know-how of what to do with these buildings and how to keep them in good shape, and how to make them accurate to the period that they want to tell the story of. So.
Now, is the Beckett-Rebow one of those houses too that they're
The
considering?
Beckett-Rebow is owned by Chalmette.
Right.
So Hank Johnson is very involved with that building that he renovated. I know he's been talking with the National Park Service about incorporating it into the park.
Okay.
So it's in the park boundary technically, where they can include it into their storytelling. And it just has to be an agreement of how it's done between Chalmette and the National Park Service in terms of this is how it's going to operate. Or
when Kathy Walsh's husband, or Kathy Walsh and her husband owned that at one time, and he had a really nice story down there, but they didn't have many visitors, but he had things fixed like it was when they lived there, and it was really nice, but, they eventually sold it. Well, after he passed, I think she sold it.
Yeah, I think the visitor component of it will be, once the Amaro House is established and the Beckett-Rebow is down, obviously not within walking distance of that.
Right.
So I think you'll have more of a
Because that's
park
really an
situation.
interesting house too.
Yeah, it's neat. It has its own. We had a TV crew from KMOV in this last week, and took them around various houses, and they all have some individual quality about them that makes them interesting on their own. So like the Amaro is the one where you can go into the basement and see the timbers come down into the earth, and then the Guyboard Valley, you can go there and go up into the attic and see the Norman trusses. And so they all, and the Bolduc is period accurate in terms of its furnishings, so you can go in there and see what it actually looked like. And then the Beckett-Rebow has, one of the neat things is the way the roof is on the house, and so it's kind of open air into the attic instead of being sealed shut up there. So.
Oh my gosh. So when they say the park, it's not a park, it's not just, because some of them say, well, where are they going to put this park? So it's not that way.
And some people,
It's an educational park, more or less.
and some people think the park is overtaking the city, which is not the case.
Yes, and that was a big thing. And so basically what it is, it's all of these historical homes, and they're just, and they're going to actually bring them to life, put it that way.
Right.
I should just say bring them to life.
Yeah.
Let us know. I mean, we go and I've heard about them. It's been years, but, and I've been to them. I've been to all of them. But to hear and if they're going to come out and do what you just said, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, they'll be well-researched.
And it would be nice if they could have the story go through every period to that period and even beyond if they go back, say they go back instead of what it is now. if they would tell the story of how it
How it
evolved
got there.
to it,
Mhm.
the present,
Right.
before they took it back. Yeah.
Well, and that little, I kept watching and I finally saw the lady that I guess owns that little bitty, I don't want to say bed and breakfast, is that what it's
Oh,
called?
the
Is-
Sassafras Creek?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's a
Yes.
nice little gift shop.
Oh, I thought it was a place you stayed.
Oh, the little cabin
Little
is,
cabin,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cabin's a
they
bed and
brought that
breakfast.
here, yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
saw that and I thought, oh my gosh, wouldn't that be awesome to have little things like that around that people, you know, if people did come from somewhere, that could be something they could stay in.
Right, it's very
And
nice
that's
inside.
exactly what it
Well, I
is,
saw
yeah.
pictures of it. I didn't get to go in. She told me to come down. I just haven't had a chance, but,
Yeah, it's
oh
really neat.
my
When you go, I will
gosh.
go with you.
Yes, it is really, you know, and I forgot the gentleman's name that was here for the museum.
Oh,
For the new museum,
Is it
Rich Rebecca?
Rebecca?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, my grandkids came from Kansas, and so I took all of them down, and I got pictures out of this world. I mean, the kids just love it, the dinosaurs,
yeah.
and then the area back there where the incubator and stuff was.
Mhm.
But the neat thing, and then Louis Pruno's, well, but that was from the other
Diorama,
museum.
yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that was, and they all looked at it, well, where was that at? So I took them up to the river.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome.
And my
Work.
oldest grandson said, that picture of, so I had a picture on my camera, on my phone, and I said, this is what that looked like. And it was just, well, where did the whole thing come from? You know, it was neat because they didn't know that. But you know, I looked at the pictures and look at, okay, right here, where the bridge is. That was a big bridge with metal on it. Oh my gosh, it was
They tore
just-
that down, I think, before 1948, didn't they? Because I don't remember it being here when we moved here. Yeah, the Third Street Bridge was still up, and it was similar, down on Third Street.
Oh,
We
my
call that the
gosh.
Red Bridge.
The Red Bridge.
And there was an old mill by it.
The old
Yeah,
mill, I
the
remember.
old mill, yeah.
Because wasn't that a big thing when it burned?
Burned, yeah.
Yeah, the old mill, I remember.
Yeah, and then they changed the creek.
Yeah.
They changed the
Mhm.
flow, yeah.
But it's just neat just to think, and my grandson, the oldest one, said, this is what St. Genevieve used to look like. And I said, yes, and I said, look here where where the river was. I mean, they just couldn't get over where the river was and no houses. And I said, okay, back in the days, they didn't have that kind of stuff. And, you know, they were really fascinated with it. So I was
He's
really.
got wonderful display.
Mhm.
Oh, he really worked on that
Yeah.
thing.
We have the 1830s diorama in the Welcome Center now, and there's a lot of people from the city who had not seen that before. They moved up here, I think, and obviously people from out of town like to check it out also. And the detail is incredible on it.
And
That was a good move to move that
And that's
to the Welcome
the
I
Center.
might
best
have to-
tool for
I'll
seeing
have to
what
get down
things
there.
were really like here at that time. You know, you can envision these are what the buildings look like without streets and sidewalks and power
Right.
poles. Because this is when
This is what it looked
wagons
like.
and cows were walking around the
Right,
streets.
right.
They made the ground turtle.
Well, my youngest granddaughter asked me, she said, she goes, Mima, did you live back here? Did you live back in those days? And I said, no, I really
I'm not
didn't."
quite that old.
Not quite that old. I said, we walked, we did a lot of walking, you know, we didn't have phones.
No,
But
didn't have
just,
cars.
it's just so exciting, you know?
Yeah.
I think, and I'm sure you're gonna get people to come, I honestly think it could be something that, either school, during school time, or even if not school, during the summer, all these tours, you know, but I just think it's awesome.
And it's gonna happen,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
And we
think
better
so.
let Toby finish his.
Oh, I'm sorry, Toby.
You got very many
No, I'm
points to
so
go
sorry.
over yet?
I am
If you-
so
Okay.
Actually, I can get back around to the.
Well, the only thing I'm saying is they cut us off at 8:30 and it's
Oh,
8.
okay. I'm
It's
sorry.
8, so we
I'm so
can
sorry.
let him do it and then we'll go
I
back
think
to
that's
talking,
okay.
yeah.
So I did want to talk about the upcoming chocolate walk, and that is on February 6th, Saturday. It'll be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on that date, and that is sponsored by Downtown St. Genevieve Organization. It's an annual event that takes place. It allows people to walk around and get a sampling of chocolate at various stores or other downtown locations. There's going to be 18 stops on the tour this year, probably about the average number, I guess, a little different in the year of the coronavirus. Some places are not open as they usually are.
Are they still selling 300 tickets?
They're
or-
still playing
They're
300
still
tickets,
going,
yes.
that's great.
And the tickets are $15 in advance. You can purchase them through their website. If you go to Facebook and search Downtown St. Genevieve, you can get a link to their website and follow those along.
And what date is that, February the?
February the 6th. Yeah. We also have a link through our website at visitstgen.com. $15 in advance and $20 the day of, but they have sold out in the past typically, and I would not be surprised if they do so again this year. If you look on Facebook and you'll see how many people are interested in the event, and it was over 500 a couple days ago, so
Wow.
I'm thinking
Oh, my
it's been one of
gosh.
those years that people want to do things,
Right.
and they want to go outdoors especially,
Right.
places they can go walk around, and this is that kind of event where they can come down, grab a ticket, walk around.
And be sure to link them to the art museum.
Art Museum. I'm trying to think of it. I can tell you all the 18 stops that are on there. Is the Art Museum on there? You guys on there this year? I don't
Pardon?
think- The Art Center, I don't think is on the, you'll be open that day.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but I don't think you're doing chocolate. It's Bell Ever After is one of the places. Common Grounds is a starting point, so if you buy a ticket, you'll go to Common Grounds and get the map and all that stuff to start the day. Sassafras Creek down on St. Mary's Road is participating. Bricks Urban Winery and Market, the new place on Merchant Street there. I don't know if you've
That's a
been.
neat place.
It's a nice place. Audubon's, of course, European Entitlements, Music Art Love, Rustic Sand Candles, Rolling on the River, Shirt Shack, and Bike Rental. This is going to be a new business. Cindy Purcell is opening on Merchant Street. She'd been based out of Rustic Sand Candles. She's moving across to where Heavenly Hair used to be on Merchant. So she's going to be in there with some t-shirts and doing her bike rentals this year.
Oh, did you ask if the art was going to be participating in that
Right.
downtown? I don't think so,
Yeah, I don't
if
think-
it's not
I don't
on the
think it
thing.
is.
No.
The Hands-On History House will be participating. That's on South Main across from the Bolduc. Their Center for French Colonial Life will be participating. Show Me Shop, Harold's Famous Bee Company, Sweet Things Sweet Shop, ASL Pewter, Le Technique Salon, Rosie's Posies, and we are participating at the Welcome Center as
There's a
well.
lot of places there too, yeah.
So yeah, it's worth the $15. You get 18 pieces of chocolate at least to sample. So.
So the real thing about this is for people just to get out, walk around, and you
Get
get
chocolate.
the chocolate.
And get chocolate.
And then visit the stores.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have, I know at the Welcome Center we are giving away pieces of, it's a company called Askinosie Chocolate. They're based in Springfield, Missouri. They do a lot of dark chocolate bars, so we have little samples from there that we'll be giving out. It's good stuff. I've ordered some extras so we can enjoy some while we're giving some out.
There you go.
Another event coming up in February, and this is probably one of the first times this has been talked about, is it's going to be the My Missouri 2021. It's a bicentennial photo display. So this year is the 200th year for Missouri's establishment as a state
Oh.
in 1821. So it'll be celebrated throughout the year, especially in August when the actual bicentennial date comes up. There'll be some events around there. But one of the things they're doing is a traveling photo display that will have, I think it's 200 different pictures within the state of Missouri that are going to be part of this display. It's 4 columns, 16 total panels of pictures that they'll be moving into the Welcome Center. On February 11th will be the starting day. That'll be February 11th through March the 2nd. So whenever the Welcome Center is open every day during that period, you can come in and check out those photo displays. It's also online, so I've looked through the online photos of some pretty neat stuff. Covers the whole state, so you got rural pictures, you got city pictures, you got all the different seasons, you got wildlife, rivers, streams, cityscapes. All
Is that through the Missouri Conservation?
It is the Missouri Historical Society, I believe.
Missouri what?
Historical Society.
Oh, Historical
Yeah,
Society.
I think they're the one coordinating all the bicentennial events. I should have looked, State Historical Society, sorry. State Historical Society of Missouri. is the one that's coordinating. So back in last June, they brought the quilts to town, the bicentennial
Right.
quilt, that had a panel for each county, including one for St.
That
Genevieve.
was really neat, yeah.
So this is similar, same program, same group that is doing this type of thing.
And the one that they did in Cape, that it was here too, where you painted on
The
it,
mural that you painted
The
on?
mural?
Right. I think
is
it's-
that going to be just in Jefferson City?
Yeah, because I think it's going to be pretty,
Oh, okay.
that was just a small piece of it that was in St. Genevieve.
Right, right.
So I think they're going to assemble it all in
Was that
Jefferson
like
City.
15 foot long, or even more than that?
Pretty big, yeah.
It was a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Because,
neat.
yeah, the piece that was here was
It was
at
pretty
least
big,
four
yeah.
4 or 5 feet wide.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Didn't you paint on it?
No,
It was neat. It was-
You either.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
that was fun.
They had dozens of people at the Welcome Center.
Yeah,
do
there was a
painting.
lot of people went there and
It was
painted.
during, it was a Jour de Fête weekend of 2019, I believe is when they
Oh,
did that.
okay.
Yeah.
So the photo display, there is I saw, there's a photo in there of Han State Park by Nicholas Becker. Is included in one of the creek scene, Pickle Creek running down through there. And there's also photos by Larry Braun and Gary Adams, not of St. Genevieve, but people from St. Genevieve are probably familiar with their work. They do a lot of photos through here and post them on.
And where is that
social-
going to be? At the
So
Welcome
the
Center?
display will be at the Welcome Center.
At the Welcome
from
Center
February
also.
11th to March 2nd.
Yeah, Larry Brown's got some really nice enhanced
Mm-hmm.
pictures of photographs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sell postcards. that
Yeah,
he's made.
he enhances them, and they're really neat.
Well, I bet they
Yeah.
are.
Let's see, what other news can I give you? So planning ahead to the summertime, the Chamber of Commerce will be probably posting their concert series information this week. They're
Oh,
working
yeah.
on their website to get their ticket sales up and running. That'll be on Fridays in June and July, with the exception of July 2nd, to take off for the holiday, that 4th of July weekend, so there'll be no concert then. But they're going to have a variety of tribute bands. So I know in the past they've had, and probably will have again, Alan Jackson,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the Journey tribute band, and Bob Seger. Fleetwood Mac has been a popular one. Those will all be in the mix for this year. And then they're going to have some interesting newcomers that I think people will be fans of, bands like Styx and Kansas,
Oh,
Allman Brothers. So they have a pretty strong lineup of bands coming in this year. Those are all going to be at the Oris, and tickets are $20 and per person. And look for probably later this week or next week, the Chamber of Commerce will have that information.
And they sell season tickets too, don't
Yes,
they?
they do, I believe.
I think- Yeah. Just really sure they do.
You can, and they usually do like you can get the sponsorship tickets also.
Yeah.
Or an organization or company. Also in June, we're going to have a cycling event that's going to come into St. Genevieve on Friday, June 18th. So we're starting the process of getting ready for this. There'll be at least 100 people have already signed up for this ride, which is a 5-day event. So the cyclists will ride from Poplar Bluff through Sykeston, Cape, Perryville, Farmington, and then the final day they'll ride into St. Genevieve on that Friday.
Oh.
So there'll be 100-plus cyclists rolling
So
into
they'll end
town.
up here.
They did that several years ago too, didn't they?
This is
But I
different.
think
That
that
was
was
a
a ride
professional
through,
race.
wasn't it?
That
Yeah.
was-
Yeah, that was a professional race that came through here. This is a recreational type of ride.
Oh,
It's
okay.
more endurance. It's, guys like to get out, guys and girls like to get out and ride for, they're averaging, I think, 59, 60 miles a day on these rides for 5 days.
Hard legs.
I remember just taking ours from my house and going up to the river. That was tough.
Some of
That's
these-
all flat.
Yeah, some of these guys will be booking it in. They ride seriously and they come in a couple hours, and others will stretch it out. So they told us there'll be riders coming in anywhere from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. that day, depending
Yeah.
how fast they
How
want
fast
to
they
go
wanna
and how
go.
much they want to see on the way. So that'll be an interesting event. I think we're going to have some things built around that in terms of live music and
Right.
and food and beverages and those kind of things downtown. So that is it in terms of the upcoming events. I did want to note that at the, let's see, you mentioned about people visiting the national park, and I brought a couple things actually. I also gave Charlie a copy of this digitally so he can put it up on the screen. But this is a gentleman named
Oh.
Dr. Paul Kowalski, who's a dentist from New Jersey, and he has visited every one of the national parks in the country except the new ones. So he stopped here in December to add to his list of national park visits.
Oh, my goodness.
Very interesting fellow. That's the kind of visitors we're seeing now. We are getting people who come to the Welcome Center for the passport stamp, because the National Park Service has books that you can stamp
Right.
the different
Right.
parks you visit.
And I lost mine. I don't know what I did with it.
You should come in and get another one.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
then I won't have my
You
stamps
don't
that I
understand. You have to go
had.
back and retrace.
You can't go back and
you have to
redo it.
retrace all your steps. Yeah, this gentleman says he has like about 15 stamped passport books that he has. So
Oh, my goodness.
he's quite an interesting fellow, because he travels, you learn a lot from seeing the different
Yeah.
parks
Oh, yeah.
and all the different stories that are out there. So that's just one of the visitors. We had a young girl named Ada Gray from the Chicago area. She came to town earlier this month, and she's a teenager who's visited 345 national parks.
Oh, my
with her
goodness.
family. So she gets very involved in the Junior Ranger program. When she goes to parks, she actually does, there's activities that are part of the program, and then they give you a little badge that's a Junior Ranger. So she had a vest full of Junior
Oh, my
Ranger
goodness.
badges. They had a picture in the newspaper. The Herald
Yeah,
came down and
yeah.
interviewed her and did a little story on her. So
Oh, my goodness.
yeah, it's kind of neat that these people
Younger
are-
people.
Yes.
Yes, to be involved in the parks.
Absolutely.
But it's neat to see the cross-section of people that are traveling the country
Mhm.
to learn more and to check the parks out. And it's, just having the sign up on the highway, and
Right.
that designation is adding a lot of that to
Right.
for the
Right.
city, so. And people, I think, are impressed when they come here in terms of both what we
Oh,
have.
yeah.
And with
Absolutely.
the structures and what we have in terms of our community and the hospitality and the different things we offer for a small town, so.
Absolutely.
And they like the friendliness.
Yep,
Mhm.
for sure. And let's see, last couple of things I have to mention is at the Welcome Center, you can get also your Missouri State Travel Guide now, which has,
Oh,
it's
okay.
new for 2021, has some mentions of St. Genevieve in there. So if you're looking to figure out where to take some vacation trips this summer, you can come down to the Welcome Center, and we have some of these available.
Okay.
And then lastly, also at the Welcome Center, we have a limited supply, but if you would want to pick one up and didn't get one in the Daily Journal newspaper out of Park Hills, they have a calendar that they put out, and they put an edition recently. And then St. Genevieve has, we sponsored a page in that. Some of the advertising partners got some promotional time, and so people have
Oh,
this
yeah.
calendar up in February. They'll know what stops that we have here in St. Genevieve. So.
Good.
And we've
Oh,
got
that's
some of these available at the Welcome Center if you want a
Okay.
calendar. So that's everything I have.
Okay, so the Missouri Guide has got just places to vacation in Missouri?
Throughout
Is
the
that what
state,
it's-
yeah.
Throughout the state?
Yeah. It includes a couple of feature stories. They do have a feature on small towns that includes St. Genevieve, as well as some of the places like Hannibal and Herman, that sort of place. So, being the bicentennial year, they do have a timeline of different things in Missouri's history along the bicentennial, on the way to the bicentennial, that's included in there. They do a regional breakdown for the whole state of different attractions and things throughout the state
Oh,
to see.
okay.
That's awesome.
That's neat. Mhm. So now, is that list going to be available at the Welcome Center of the
Which-
events for the year? Or-
Yes, we're working on our total, we'll do a card that'll list all the events for the year. It's in the final stages, I would say.
Oh,
The
okay.
challenges for this year, as we had a bit with last year, so last year the cards came out and
And
then
then everything was
Oh.
the virus
canceled.
came.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
a lot of scratch through,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
This year's been, pretty much we know everything that's planned has some tentativeness to it.
Right.
The King's Ball's already been canceled for February because the band said they wouldn't play.
Right.
Well,
Both
that's
here.
been canceled?
Yeah, both here and Prairie du Rocher's 12th night, which would have been, I believe, this coming weekend or last weekend,
Yeah.
was also canceled this year. And those type of indoor events like that in the wintertime,
Yeah.
probably there's a little more reluctance to move forward with
have
those.
that,
Right.
yeah.
Well, once the vaccinations are all out, then it'll change.
I think by May.
Yeah,
I
that's what-
definitely think
that's what I'm
about May,
thinking, for
that things
summer. and so-
would, yeah.
And by that point, you can do things outdoors anyway.
Right.
After the February events with the chocolate walk and then the
Right.
photo display, the next thing we're seeing on the schedule is the Col de Soldat, which will be the weekend of April 23rd and 25th.
That's when they go down to the
Judith
Judith
Park,
Fed.
yes. The encampment comes in town.
Yeah, that's
And they'll
neat.
set up that weekend.
Yes, yes.
And they'll also they do some lectures that
Right.
will be indoors, and we're trying to figure out exactly where that location will be this year.
Mm-hmm.
But they're moving forward with their plans to do that. And
That's the bunch that has the auction of the.
yes, the
oh,
auction, yeah, of vintage items and
Right.
historical pieces, yeah.
That's neat.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then that same weekend, so it'll be April 24th is a Saturday that weekend, the community center is planning an event that they're calling Touch a Truck. And they were going to do it last year. It was in the spring and it got canceled because of the COVID situation. But they're looking to move forward with it this year. It's an outdoor event. Come April, I'm not sure what the situation will be like with vaccinations, but ideally you can at least get up and close and see what the trucks are going to be that they're going to have. They'll have the emergency vehicles like the fire trucks and ambulance things, and then large construction trucks and those kind of things. So just different vehicles that you don't get to
Oh,
see
So
every
it's gonna
day.
be all kind of work trucks or
Yeah.
vehicles?
Yeah, just
Okay.
big vehicles.
The kids will love that.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, Brad Arnold's been working on, well, they were getting ready to have it last year, and they've moved it into this year, and I know he's got some good plans for different things that I think they're going to do it in the parking lot at the water park, since it won't be
Oh,
open
neat.
yet for that time of year, just have the trucks
That would
in
be
that
good.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have they proceeded with, weren't they supposed to construct some apartments out there too? Is that,
They are.
are they still doing
I
that?
believe so, yeah. That'll be to the,
Have they started them yet, or is it?
not that I know of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've
But they're
driven-
still in plans?
Yeah.
More apartments on that same side?
Yeah.
Yes, where the current ones are,
Mm-hmm.
it'll be to that road kind of twists around.
Oh, I
So
know what you're talking
I think you're
about.
talking southwest
Yes,
of that
yes.
road, yeah.
Okay.
So you got the Riverview apartments, and then you'll have the additional
Some more.
apartments on next.
Now, out there also, they have, or somebody was supposed to be making,
A restaurant,
yeah,
yes.
and that's still
As far as I
planning
know,
on,
yeah.
okay. Well, they got
And then I
something
think a
like
produce market or something next to Luna Ice.
Very nice, there's a
Yeah.
produce market there. I'm
Yeah,
not
she
sure.
told me that they
Yeah.
were gonna have it this
Yeah.
coming year.
I've
Yeah.
seen that they've started to do some social media with that, because I believe they have a name for it already, and I think.
Oh,
when
do they?
When they sold the Christmas trees out there
Mhm,
this year,
right.
I think they were using that name.
Oh,
for
okay.
the Christmas trees.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was a slab, and I said, what's the concrete slab over there for? Is somebody gonna put something? And they said, yeah, they're
She
friends.
told- well, when I said
Our
that-
friends are gonna do a produce
Yeah.
market next
And
spring.
you look at it,
Yeah.
it's like, well, that's not gonna be very big.
But it is
But
pretty
it's
big.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I think they got, isn't there a freezer in there? Or a-
Yeah, I think,
ice
yeah,
box or-
I think I saw one.
Refrigerator.
Yeah.
Okay, because I seen that, it's built around it. So I was.
And then they'll probably do like they do up at Festus, have stuff outdoors and
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. I'm
whenever.
sure.
It's a good
That's
season for it.
exciting.
Yeah. It is. It's
Exciting.
nice to go.
I mean,
I
'cause
like that one up at
I was
Festus
gonna
where you
say,
drive
we go
in.
up
and-
there, we go up there a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you got fresh produce
Absolutely.
and it's, yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
And it's all good stuff. But, that's good. I
Yeah.
mean, all of our local people here can.
And then they can benefit and we can benefit saving
Absolutely.
gas
And
driving
don't
to
have to go,
Festus.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah,
That's
it is.
really exciting.
Okay, Martha, you can go back with your stories now.
Oh, no, I'm just so impressed, just to think that, you know, I couldn't even imagine what the museum looked like, or what it was gonna look like. And I think once you get in there and just the, you know, really, this is where we live, this is where we came from, you know, find out
Mhm.
what what we used to do, or what
And
our
you were
na-
born and raised here, right?
I was.
Yeah.
I was. And that was when all the houses were down on Main Street, too.
Main
That was-
Street and
yeah,
Leahy
Main
and all-
Street and
yeah.
Leahy Street Grocery.
Yeah. At one
Willie's
time,
Meat
there were
Market.
so many grocery stores in town. Eichenlop's had one,
Yes.
Fritzy had
worked at
one,
Fritzy, that's the one, yeah.
and Jerry's,
Yeah, and
Damian
that was at
had
that
one.
corner, and Collier's was right
And
there.
then Collier's,
Three
all
of
in
them
our
were-
neighborhood.
Yeah, on
All in
one
our
road.
neighborhood.
I see I used to see the ads in the paper when I do the history section for the Herald, and I was like the Wimpy's IGA, I guess.
Oh,
was-
Wimpy's,
Yeah,
absolutely.
downtown here,
Piggly
and then
Wiggly.
moved out there, Piggly Wiggly, yeah. And the Quentin Hook had a store, was that,
That was Fritzy's.
that was
And
It
that
was
was
Piggly
Fritzy's.
Wiggly?
No, it was like his street grocery.
Was Leahy Street.
Oh, he
Grocery.
moved
Yeah,
out there.
He moved
Yeah.
there, yeah, yeah. So,
We had lots of grocery
the
stores.
bowling
in
alley,
town.
our bowling alley was
It's in
underneath
the
basement.
there.
basement here,
I
yeah.
remember bowling.
And we
there.
had movie show,
We had
movie,
the
and a
movie.
roller rink,
Yep.
and a archery
Yep.
place, and what else did we
I'm
have?
not
We
sure.
had a lot of fun
Yeah,
stuff
we
when we
did.
were young.
You know,
And the streets, you could be safe at midnight.
at Oris.
There was
Yeah,
a
they
ballpark where the
And the
Still can.
Oars.
CBS
You're
is.
still
And
streets,
Oars.
still safe at midnight walking the streets of town.
Do what did you say?
You're
Oh, I'm
still-
not saying you
You're
wouldn't be,
still safe walking the street?
Yeah.
I think pretty much so.
Yeah.
probably, but I wouldn't let my, well, I
Children,
don't
yeah,
have
well,
any
that's-
kids, but
that's
I wouldn't
just-
let
yeah.
mine.
Well, I
But
walk-
back in the day,
Yeah,
we walked,
we walked everywhere.
remember the Oris?
Oh, yeah.
Cut rate?
Yeah.
I mean,
cut
if you
rate.
wanted to go to the Oris show, well, how else was you gonna get there? And we all.
We walked to school and we walked up
Well,
church and we walked
absolutely.
everywhere. yeah.
Absolutely. I remember telling Eric Balsler, real quick, I'll make this really short. Eric Balsler, when we were coming, we wanted to go to a show, and all the kids met at my house up on Ridgeway. And so we walked, and we said, well, let's take a shortcut, and we were gonna go through the cemetery. So Balsler, or up there by Punk and Balsler, and as we were going through, I remember my sister saying, you make sure you ask Mr. Balsler if you can walk through there. Don't you dare cut in there if you can't. So we did. And we knocked on his door, and we told him what we were there for. And there's 6 kids, 6 girls, and he's looking at us probably thinking, you're crazy. What are you doing here? And anyway, to make this short, he told us, he said, no, I'm going to let you go through there. But whatever you do, you stay on that path. Don't you dare step on any of those, but who knows? I mean, he was really telling us the truth, because he said they're spirits. And so anyway, let me tell you, we did not get off it. But you're talking dark, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and we're walking through the graveyard. We never thought nothing, we wouldn't have thought anything of it other than the spirit's gonna get us if we were off that thing. But, when you think about it, and then I try to tell my grandkids where the jail was. The jail?
Jail's
There was
got a lot
little
of
jail.
stores.
And I said, yes, the bars were right here, and the prisoners could see you. Look, they just couldn't get over.
What is in that building now?
The prosecuting attorney's office.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They did a very nice renovation on
Yeah.
it.
Did
That
they
was-
tear
that
all,
was
they
still
tore
there
all
when I
the
moved
bars
here.
and all that stuff out
It
of
was,
there?
it was neat to look at it during the process, so we could go in there and check it out when they pulled the old cell
Yeah.
out, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was
'Cause,
interesting.
yeah, at one time, the county offered the art guild that building, but we had to put a new roof on it, and then we
Yeah.
couldn't figure out how, remember that, Mary Ann? We went in there and looked at it, I think you
Oh,
were
yeah.
with me. We couldn't figure out how we'd hang pictures on the, in the cells. So we said, oh, well, we can't afford a roof.
We couldn't do that.
So we were blessed to wait, because we
Yeah.
got a really, really good building now, yeah. And
But
then
back in the day-
the other one was where the chamber's at, but we had to clean the bathrooms there, and they were, those
Oh, my
outdoor
gosh.
bathrooms.
Yes, they were outdoors.
Yeah, they were outdoor public bathrooms,
Yes.
and we said, no, we don't think the art guild wants a clean
Right.
bathroom.
Well, my high school years, we worked for the city, and remember Holly Morris?
Oh, yes.
And the other guy, anyway, we would, there was 3 of us.
You had to clean those
Darn.
bathrooms?
Yes,
Oh,
and
my.
I'll never forget. It was our last year being able to work. I think it was our senior summer, I guess. And one of the girls said, I'm not painting that bathroom again. I'm just not doing it. And I said, you have to. That's our job. Listen to me. You have to. And she did. Took that paint and flushed it down the stool.
Oh, my God.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't mind to tell you, we left and I couldn't deal with it because I knew it happened. And I just told her, I said, well, you know what? I'm telling what happened. I'm telling.
I'm gonna snitch
Yeah.
on you.
I said, you either tell them or I am. And so I don't care. It's my last year anyway. So old Polly's wanted to know what was, it was silver paint too. So. 'Cause we painted the stop signs and then we painted this, we never had rollers and stuff. We had paintbrushes and buckets of paint that we painted the lines and all that stuff. Oh yeah,
You worked
but
hard,
we worked
yeah.
hard, I mean, you worked hard for that dollar. I don't even know if we made $1 or
You
not.
probably did.
Remember, the Park and Eat?
Yeah.
But look at remember
I worked there too.
well, look at all the taverns that were here.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Oh,
like we had
gosh.
more taverns in
On
town than
every
we had
There was a
corner.
tavern for
corner.
every church.
Remember that? They said a tavern on every corner.
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
Yeah,
But
St.
we had
Genevieve
a
was
lot of
known for that.
businesses, Remember?
Yeah, we did.
A
We
lot
had
of
3 clothing
business,
stores
Absolutely.
and a shoe store
Mm-hmm.
and,
And I'm not. I know I was a little girl, but remember when it was Rutledge's?
yeah, drugstore.
And then there was
Drugstore?
the ice cream
Mildred,
thing that was
yeah,
right
yeah,
over here where
yeah.
the bank is.
Oh, the Creole
Creole
Dairy.
Dairy.
I remember
Dairy.
my grandma, that
Yeah.
was our treat. Walking from her house up here, and it was like an old time thing. That was my dream, to have one of these places. Well, it's still a dream, one day. It's getting shorter, but one day. They had ice cream, and it was this old time. I mean, it was.
So
It was old.
There was soda.
It was good.
Everything. And then they were a dairy also.
A
Yeah.
dairy.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot in St. John, and then all of a sudden everything started.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the city
Did it?
developed and closer Walmart opened and Walmart,
Okay, that's probably what all
Walmart did
this
it.
is.
Yeah.
A bigger,
Yeah.
I guess.
Bigger place
It's-
to do and more. Then they closed the theater and they closed the skating rink and they
We had a-
closed the archery.
We had a show. That was
And they-
neat. We really, when we went to that, I mean, my kids, and the bowling alley, that was the big
Yeah.
thing back in those days.
And then
my
it-
whole family, from the time my kids were little and Earl and I were, that was the family thing. We bowled, I bowled, he bowled, on leagues, and we bowled on a mixed league, and then all 3 of my kids bowled. And that was our life.
And
You
then
know,
they
your
moved it
uncles
from
bowled.
here out to the Ford place.
Yeah, that was the thing, it was.
That was
what
a
we had down
restaurant.
here, was it a 12 lane? Or was it, I don't remember,
10.
10, okay, well, and I knew the Colemans at the time, and I remember them, Kathy and them saying, well, we're gonna do a 24 lane, and we kept saying, oh my gosh, we were excited, but we kept thinking, 24, is it gonna really, are we gonna be able to do a 24 lane? Well, I think that was probably the biggest mistake. It was too big. I mean, don't get me wrong, they filled it, there was nights that
Oh,
place was
yeah.
filled, and.
It was a beautiful
it was-
place,
Yes,
yeah.
and then had the Edinburgh Lounge, and that was amazing. Remember Ullman, what was her name? That Mrs. Ullman.
Oh, yeah.
She was one of the cooks. It's just, when I think about what my younger years had, and then we don't,
And-
if our kids could just see that, that's why I took them over. I just showed them, I said, you guys, this is what life really is. I mean, you don't have to have those. I mean, is it good to know your technology,
gonna
new
sign us off
technologies
pretty
and
soon,
stuff?
isn't
But
Good experiences.
absolutely.
And now they don't hardly talk to each other, they text each other.
Yes, and I always tell if you want to talk to me, you call me. I'm not texting you. I just don't want to do that. I want to talk, because sometimes when you're texting, if you say something, it could sound like you're being mean.
And
I
you're
don't have a
not.
computer.
Never
I don't have internet.
Yeah.
I just have a television.
Yeah.
Right now, I got
So-
everything on the blink.
Yeah, we have about 2 minutes left, so we're gonna thank Toby first.
Thank you so
And then we
much
can
for
talk
that.
till he takes us,
Yes.
shuts us down.
That was amazing.
So thank you very much for all the information.
Sure.
And we'll look forward to the little cards.
All right.
Thank
I
you all
like
for
those because
watching
you
us.
can kind of plan
Yes.
what you're gonna do.
And if you have, next time you have any information, you want to come on, just,
All right.
Yeah.
because I'd love to hear what you have to say and
Yeah.
what's going on in town.
And there's probably gonna be a lot
Well, there are a lot of
developing
things
as
going
the
on.
park develops.
Yes. there'll be a lot.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Now, are you gonna kind of be a spokesman for them, or is it because Chris was?
Yeah, Chris wasn't available tonight. I talked to him a bit about different topics. He sent out some information recently, and I wanted to make sure it was clear of what we could talk about, because they have a lot of things going on, and they'll have some things announced
Okay.
coming up, I'm sure.
That's
Okay, because
awesome.
they had said, what's the little girl that works down there, Montgomery?
She's back with the
We're not
state,
off yet.
state of
Pardon?
Missouri now, yeah. She worked during the summer, and now she's back with the state of Missouri.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Chelsea.
Yeah, she was really nice.
Mhm.
She was wanting to come on, but then it never worked out with COVID happening, and she never did get here, yeah.
I used to go down there often. I just haven't been down, well, for sure since COVID, for last year, but, you know, just to see some of the different little things that,
Are we off
No.
or are we on?
And I think that's really nice, they have the gardens open all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you walk in through the gate and the roses smell so good,
Oh.
yeah,
I think that's really nice,
yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah.
because I had some people from Illinois that like to come over and see all that.
You mean for now, they want to come
Yeah,
over?
they want to
Yeah.
come over and see when everything starts to open.
Well, I
They
think
wanna come
when,
over and visit the houses and
Once
things.
the word, the people that are interested in the parks, when they start coming, we're going to kind of have a steady flow of people.
Yeah. I believe so.
Well, and just tourists that come that's not even, not really knowing about it, come here and then they get that experience and they go back and tell somebody and it's a word of mouth.
Yep.
and
We've
all
had
that
a
stuff.
lot at the art museum, we've had a lot of people from St. Louis stop in on Saturdays, they're just out for the,
Right.
out for the
Oh, yeah.
weekend, and they come here and stay all night because it's close,
Mhm.
or else they drive down for the day and
Yeah.
stop in, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
And I'm sure
St.
they come down to you,
Yeah.
the ones that come to town.
Well, you know, I told my granddaughters one day we were going to walk downtown and see what we had. Well, it happened to be that it was me and my daughter went downtown. And I go, I mean, I've been in the stores, but we went to the rustic place. Well, then across, let's see, this one and then that over there. Then that, it's right on, I think above the jug, where the old jug was. You go
Oh,
up-
music, Music and Love?
No, that must be right next to it. It's, you walk
No,
up.
she's
it's
on the corner, or Music and Love's on the corner.
On the corner, yeah.
Oh, it's,
right next to it. It's,
that's Rush,
Masquerade on Main?
straight other, yeah.
what'd you call it?
Masquerade on Main?
Yes. Oh, my gosh. I've walked by there and seen stuff.
That
That night we
yeah,
were down there.
That's Sam's also, isn't it?
Yeah. Me and Kim, we went in there and nobody, over where the jewelry stuff
Yeah,
was.
and
We
nobody
went in
was
there and there
there.
was nobody there. And I'm
Because
thinking,
Sam's across the street.
well, it was funny because we started to leave and then I guess she heard us. And I said, I didn't want to be in here with nobody being in here. And then, so we went and looked at everything there. And then she was telling us about the rustic. So we went, oh my.
Isn't that
God,
cool?
Oh my
That's the
gosh.
coolest
I said,
place.
okay, this is what I want, this is what I want. And then I said, and then she said, well, have you seen the other part? And I said, no. And it was funny because as we walked down there, there wasn't anybody there, but it wasn't going in. And anyway, these masquerade, I mean, we could see all that stuff. And God bless her, she took us in and, oh, was it so awesome. So I told my grandkids next time we're all together, I'm gonna go down there and get pictures. It
Yeah,
was
that'd be
fun, it was just.
Oh, she's got that shop now where
Yes.
she takes pictures
Yes.
with
There's
the
a variety of
clothing.
settings and different
Yeah.
clothing
Yes,
that you put on.
clothings and, I mean, different clothes and
Yeah.
just, oh my gosh. And so I was telling other people, I said, you guys, if you just have one day that you're not doing anything, go downtown. I said, some of the stuff down there was just,
Mhm.
it was fun.
And then the girls that had the next shop up, what's the name of that one? Flint,
Which way are you going?
going up the street from Rush and Main.
See it, Music Art Love, that
The
one?
the next one up, two of them up from the corner,
Hmm.
in the Swice building.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've got neat stuff
Oh,
in there
yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah. I've
and I
been in
think
there.
it's all
Is it
handmade.
Bowen that has that?
Is that, which one?
It's right next where, or it's where Oh,
I can't think of the
he
name
might
of
not
it.
know Schweiss's. It was where the bird place or the animal place was. Or,
It's a brick one.
Oh, Purple Finch.
yeah,
Purple fin, I
Finch.
knew it was a bird, but I
Yeah.
couldn't think of which one.
Some animal. I knew
Yeah.
there were animals in there. Yeah, that is really
Yeah,
neat.
Yeah, that's
Some
neat too.
really neat
Yeah.
stuff in there. And I was telling him, I said, oh my gosh, I remember. Okay, so where the what hotel is this one across?
Main Street.
Yeah, Main Street Inn.
Okay,
Main
it's
Street,
right next. It's right next to the bathrooms. So the bathrooms are here.
Oh, Southern
St.
The
John's.
ins-
Hotel.
okay. Anyway,
I'm not
So-
Southern,
well,
Main Street Inn.
right. I remember back then when those were apartments. Those were apartments back in the day. And then going back over there where the rustic, where the rustic thing, those two little houses there, or is it one little house? Well, I know the one. My sister lived in there.
Huh.
It was just to go back to that. And then the Southern Hotel, well, that was apartments. My girlfriend
Right.
lived there.
And Kay Stiegel.
In case, and
Kay and
Stiegel's-
Dave owned
yes,
it, yeah.
Yes. So, these are just.
And Ruth Beckley and Joe
Oh,
lived
yeah.
there at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't this
there was a
fun?
lot of changes in
Oh,
town.
my
yeah.
gosh. And
But
this is
every
just stuff that
town's
I
like
could
that,
remember,
yeah.
so all the stuff that was before that.
Oh, looky there, he's letting us go overtime tonight.
Well,
Okay, Charlie, we can stop. Thank you.
thanks, Toby, that was.
Yeah,
this
thanks
is
a lot,
wonderful.
Toby, that
You
was
can come
really
on.
neat.